pick up the phone, Joe. I've called you 33 times today.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is June 4th, 2021. And this is episode 346. Today, Cyber Hacky Sack. That's right. Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast, where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with the well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And I think the episode is titled Cyber Hack Trick instead of Hacky Sack, but that all depends on where you're reading because, notes get mixed up.
Okay, well, it's titled whatever you want. You didn't like the Hacky Sack title?
I don't know. I kind of went back and forth with it. Apparently, I have Cyber Hacky Sack at the very top of the document, and then I decided to go with Cyber Hack Trick, like a hat trick, like the trifecta.
Yeah, okay. Both are good.
Yeah, either way.
Both are good.
Whatever you want.
Whatever, bro. Well, like we mentioned in the pre-show, the Canary Cry Radio YouTube channel received another strike from an episode that came out months ago. So you will not be seeing this live on the Canary Cry Radio YouTube channel. Just another reason to follow us and subscribe to the podcast all over the place. Don't rely on one outlet. I saw some comments of people saying, I don't do anything else. I just do YouTube. I only enjoy my independent media through the censorship minefield of Susan Wojcicki's dreamscape. Okay, if that's how you want to play it. But we're all over the place. Plenty of places to get the uncensored version of Canary Cry News Talk.
Yes.
But other than that, we're not the only ones experiencing this, Gonz. Our good buddy Josh Peck has recently been a victim.
Well, not just Josh Peck, but the entire Skywatch TV channel on YouTube got taken down.
Right. Yes. But I believe this was sort of orbiting around the was Silent Cry, the film Josh Peck and team made over there, doing a great job exposing the child trafficking situation. And there you go. Susan didn't like it. Said, no, thank you. I prefer to ignore probably the most heinous part of human society. And I don't want people to know about it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Susan, if that's what you're into.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. I have a quote here to start things off. It's from George R.R. Martin, the famous guy here.
Great.
Yeah. He said, when you tear out a man's tongue, you are not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. Ooh, Susan, what are you fearing,
Susan,
that they might say? And it wasn't just Skywatch TV and Josh Peck. Titus Frost, his channel got taken down. And I think this is like the fourth or fifth time his channel has been taken down.
That's.
And I'm not even talking
be
about
used to it by now.
Well, the thing is, it's not that it's not that his channel gets taken down and then it gets brought back up. It gets taken down. He starts a new channel, rebuilds the audience, whatever, and then that gets taken down. I think this is like the fourth or fifth time that's happened. So
it's savage. He's
crazy.
A savage guy, man. He's able to do it. He rebuilds from scratch every time.
I know.
It's very impressive.
Yeah. So, prayers out for Titus Frost and the whole pirate crew over there. And hopefully follow him on other platforms as well. I know he's streaming on DLive and other places. So good to keep up with him. And one of the things that just happened, Bitcoin 2021 is going on right now, right?
What is that? Like a conference?
It's a giant conference in Miami, or I think it's Miami. It's in Florida. And, you have all your top Bitcoiners out there talking. And Jack Dorsey, Twitter guy, was on stage when
Notorious
Laura Loomer,
homeless Twitter CEO.
notorious homeless, is he a billionaire? He must be close, right? Or he is.
He's somewhere up there.
Yeah. Who runs Twitter, was confronted by Laura Loomer. And there's about a 15-second clip here of Laura Loomer, causing a scene.
Censorship is a human rights violation. You are censoring people. You are interfering in elections
What's funny, because people are yelling, deplatform her, and she's already deplatformed off Twitter, so it's not that big of a deal. And the guy that was trying to hold her back is the podcaster also. I can't remember his name, but he does the podcast What Bitcoin Did. It's a pretty popular podcast. And you got Jack on stage there. He looks pretty homeless. I mean, he looks he looks like he is one of those old school white supremacists. He's got the big beard, but he's bald.
He does got that vibe. Yeah.
It's super American.
He used to have his like super trendy haircut, but now he's just buzzed it, huh? Yeah,
he looks like an Edward Norton from American X. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah,
that's
American History X.
American History X. There you go.
Yeah. Not to say that anybody with a beard and who has a buzz cut, it looks like a white supremacist. It's just fun to make fun of Jack Dorsey.
Yeah. So there you go. That's and part of the whole thing with Laura Loomer, and this is just my opinion, is that she has been deplatformed along with guys like Alex Jones and others, and it's part of the divide and conquer methodology to get a certain segment of people to follow what have been created as sort of like social media martyrs, when they're canceled, deplatformed. And, for us, it's a little different because we're more little guys. I know there's a lot of subs on the Face Like the Sun channel, but we're not really tied into any kind of alt establishment in any kind of way. Right. And so we're truly independent.
Independence.
True independence. So, they're going to silence us and no one really cares. Our followers care. Our producers care.
We have no recourse.
We have no, we don't have big news agencies or even big news or alt agencies, reporting Canary Cry radio channel was taken down. Like, nobody cares. Yeah. So in that regard, we're a little more in the middle. But people like Laura Loomer, I think, are there to stir up the right wing aisle or whatever. And so anyway, that's just my theory on the whole thing. But just something to keep in mind because it's pretty wild, man. It's wild. And one more quick quote from Heinrich Heine, or Heine, depending on how you read it. Where they have burned books, they will end in burning human beings.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Yeah. Heine was actually, his writings, and I think he was from the late 1700s and early 1800s. His writings were abhorred by the Nazis. And, the Nazis really hated this guy. Huh? And they basically, they call this guy the guy who was the recipient of more National Socialist vitriol than anybody else during the Nazi period. Heinrich Heine. I believe it. And his it's almost like a prophetic statement here, where they have burned books, they will end in burning human beings with the Holocaust situation there. But anyway.
Yep.
Just, I know it's not a happy intro today, but had to be mentioned.
It's just hitting hard. Hitting the deep button, the hard hitting spooky button right at the top there. Yeah. And on that note, I'm going to pull the ripcord and say, let's go into the Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Okay, if you're new to the show, Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and now there's nothing we can do about it. Today, I am bringing a story from Mainichi.
Mainichi in Japanese means every day.
every day.
Mainichi,
The every day.
every day.
Okay, there you go. Japanese outlet here. The headline is robot system developed by Japanese firms conducts up to 2,500 PCR tests per day. Woo! Let's see what they have to say for themselves. Robotic systems that can conduct up to 2,500 polymerase chain reactions PCR tests per day have been operating at 4 locations in Japan, and the developers aim to have 50 of them installed by the end of March 2022. So right off the bat, we've got 4 of these, institutions, these PCR testing facilities that can just do massive amounts of PCR tests. And they are making the investment to get 50 of them up by, a year from now, which really shows a commitment to continued mass PCR testing in Japan. So, okay, let's keep going. A robot arm gently lifts a tiny sample container, rotates it, opens the lid, moves part of the sample to another container, puts a reagent into it, and repeatedly conducts such delicate movements. This is the automated PCR viral testing robot system developed by Kawasaki Heavy Industries Ltd., major Kobe-based medical equipment and reagent manufacturer Seismex Corp., and their joint venture company Medicoroid Corp., also in Kobe. They started developing the system utilizing industrial robots in April last year as the coronavirus pandemic picked up steam in Japan, first introduced by Fujita Health University in Aichi Prefecture in January 2021. The systems have now been delivered to 4 locations in the country, including Kansai International Airport. Doing PCR tests from taking the samples to delivering the results usually takes 4 to 5 hours if done by hand. The system shortens the process to 80 minutes as it can work unattended. It also reduces infection risks for healthcare workers. And as the whole system, including testing equipment and the robotic arm, can be put into a 12.2 meter long, 2.5 meter wide container for easy transport, it is expected to see use at a variety of venues, including at sporting events. According to the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, domestic PCR testing capacity increased from some 2,000 per day in early February last year to about 200,000 as of May 26 this year. That's a 10x return, Gons. That's real growth.
Yeah, it's good. Are they talking about the cycle threshold? What number they're using?
Yes, the 2,000 cycle threshold. Yes, they can sense the fart of a coronavirus from the moon. It just ends up here.
Tardigrade fart.
Yes, tardigrade fart on the moon of coronavirus. Ends here with a quote. In addition to vaccinations, large-scale testing can also lead to infection countermeasures, said Shigeki Aratama, 54, at Kawasaki Heavy Industries General PCR Business Department. Quote, we hope this can create a way for economic activities to resume or continue. Now, of course, this has so many things wrapped up. I want to make a point here for those who are not looking at the image. That these are official Flippy arms, Kawasaki arms, in fact. Maybe Flippy, maybe what should we name these guys? Testy? Uh-oh. Nope, I don't call them. No. They're Flippies.
No.
And so it looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got about 8 of these things, all operating in sort of a shipping container size, conveyor belt system, and just pumping out these PCR tests. Now, there's a couple of troubling things with this. First of all, we know the problems with the PCR tests, notoriously able to basically create whichever outcome whoever's controlling the test wants. It's basically up to the authorities whether you're going to test positive or negative due to the cycle threshold count. So we all know about that. But also it's putting Flippy in a strange position, in my opinion, and I don't like it very much, which is Flippy is standing directly between human beings and their freedom. You literally now have a robotic arm